Episode 72, Clash of the Podcast. We are back. If this is your first time listening, maybe you don't know. I am Conrad Cushman, representing Everything Pro Wrestling. Beside me, is Sean Hubbard, representing Hubbard Wrestling Weekly. And together, every Monday, live at 6:05, we bring you Clash of the Podcast. This week, we are going to be we're going to have a little bit of a discussion about Dr. Martin Luther King. Got to bring that up since today is a holiday for him. We are also going to be discussing TNA Wrestling, New Japan Pro Wrestling. They had a nice event out there, Battle in the Valley. I enjoyed it. We're going to get into some of the things for that one. And we are going to be talking about honoring the business, some of our favorite Black performers in the wrestling business, past, present, and future as well. So make sure you guys stick around for that. And I'm actually going to do it right today. Sean, I need my line.
I got you, man. Conrad, glad to be here. Chat, welcome. Dr. King, we love you. We appreciate you. Thank you. Conrad, my brother, drop that thing.
Welcome on in, everybody. Welcome on in. Sean, do you want to start with the comments, or do you want to start with the honoring of Dr. King?
Yeah, we want to start this off. Like we chat, we love you, but we want to make sure we start this off right, especially on today. It's obviously the celebration of Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Conrad and I have talked about it on many occasions. First of all, we welcome you to Clash of the Podcast here, January 15th, 2024. Definitely speeding through the month of January as the Royal Rumble's 2 weeks away. And, we're excited to have you guys here for episode 72, my goodness, of Clash of the Podcast. But obviously this one takes a little bit of a sweetness to it as we honor the legacy of the late, great Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., Conrad and I being two Black men of color, however you want to word it, standing in the gap and trying to fill a void where we feel that there is as it relates to men of color and our podcasting and our broadcasting in this field. Just trying to honor the legacy, man. You know what I'm saying? We're really excited and blessed to represent this genre and our people and wrestling fans. So, it's kind of like a triple-edged thing for us. Dr. King, obviously, we all know the history as it relates to the March on Washington, years and years of standing up for equality, trying to bridge the gap between those who are ignorant and those who wanted to do the right thing, which is to love everyone and to have everybody on one accord. Unfortunately, we all know that he lost his life in that battle, but we like to believe, though we still have a long way to go, we like to believe that he did not die in vain, and that his dream, no pun intended, will continue to live on through all of us. Black people, obviously, but human beings in general, just trying to be on one accord and love each other. And that's what this show is all about, man. You know what I'm saying? Just bringing people together. We've been with you guys for 72 weeks in a row that have spanned 3 calendar years from 2022 all the way till 2024 and beyond, God willing. And we just want to just be the people that you guys can get with on a Monday evening and have fun. You know what I'm saying? Doesn't matter what color you are. Doesn't matter what your background is. As long as you're here to have fun, and we enjoy you guys, you enjoy us, and that's pretty much it. Rest in peace. Continue to rest in paradise, Dr. King. We love you for who you were, and we love you for the standards, practices, and and pure intentions that you brought to us for so many years. Your legacy remains, and we appreciate you.
I just want to piggyback off what Sean said and just remind people too. Um, it's very important to try to get along with everybody. I know sometimes I hear oftentimes that wrestling's toxic, the wrestling community's toxic, and I always feel like that can go across many different things, any genre. You can get into that with the Marvel movies, DC versus Marvel if you're a superhero fan, Star Wars, whatever you want to get into, right? Sports, even it gets it's toxic. It's different ways of how people look at things, but try to find the positive things, the things that make you happy. I appreciate everyone who comes in here every Monday. I feel like we are your show before Raw. If you watch Raw, or we're your show before Monday Night Football, you get to come vibe with us. You like wrestling, we like wrestling. I'm a brother, he's a brother. You know, like that's what it is. And the sisters are welcome. Everybody here is welcome. Like Sean said, it doesn't matter where you're from, your background. We're here to talk pro wrestling. And that's what we do, and we do it better than no one. So when someone mentions what's your favorite Black wrestling podcast, keep our names in your mouth. Keep everything Pro Wrestling and Hubbard Wrestling Weekly's names in your mouth. Spread that out. I know that they're going to be saying all that stuff about, oh, I like this podcast, I like that podcast. Make sure you guys put a stamp on us, man. Make sure you're talking good about us. And I know a lot of you do. I saw Ray shared us to like family and friends. He was like, hey, if you guys like wrestling, and I appreciate that, Ray. And as far as Dr. Martin Luther King, I want those principles applied not only in here with wrestling, but apply it to your everyday life too. Some of you guys are probably managers. Some of you guys are workers. Some of you guys own businesses, I would assume. And just apply those principles, do right by someone else, and make sure that you guys are keeping that dream alive that Martin Luther King Jr. spoke of. Let us get into the show, shall we? Yeah, thank you guys, and I know you'll have comments.
We have a major title defense tonight. Golly.
Oh my goodness!
Don't get me stopped. Yeah, let's go.
Joel jumped right to the chop. Joel, I saw your super chat while we were discussing here. He said, "My guys, happy Monday." Joel, thank you, brother. Thank you,
Joel. Thank you. Big shout out to Joel for correctly predicting that Green Bay would shock the world yesterday. Massive prediction by him, and I'm a witness that he said it before the game started. So
I called Tampa today.
Okay.
I think Tampa pulls one out too. We'll see.
I picked the Lions, which is not anything crazy, but they almost blew it.
Yeah, that was a good team. The Rams aren't as bad as people think they are either. They're a solid team, I think. Going back into the live chat though, first one who was in here was my man Sir Quills. What up, Sean Conrad? Sir Quills is back again. Two of my favorite bros, CJ and Hubs, for episode 72. I'm a Sabres fan, and the Tage Thompson of Clash of the Podcast. Let's get it. Happy MLK Day. The Sabres got the win, bruh. I was surprised by that. I was cheering for them last night. If you follow my personal Twitter, you would have seen that. Hopefully the Bills get the win as now. Never doubt, bro. I'm trying to keep the eyes on the game, bro. Tell me. Let's talk some pro wrestling. Speaking of pro wrestling, TNA Hard to Kill was a very good show. 8.5 out of 10. That is so true, Quills. A very good one to start off the new branding of TNA.
100%. Quilly, welcome.
Mike says, please, won't you be my neighbor? What is going on? He said, I have a dream, but one of my favorite wrestlers would come back. Ladies and gentlemen, the dream is fulfilled. MLK, happy birthday. Appreciate that. Ray, happy Monday, guys. I hope everyone had a good weekend. We did, Ray. I hope you and the fam had a good weekend, too, as well. I'm dealing with some snow up here, but it ain't nothing that can't be moved or things like that. Making the best of it. Amen. Over here. Sean, prayers for you. I heard you guys might get hit in the next couple of days as well with what we're feeling now. Heard it's going to drift over to you guys.
I sent you my well wishes for you and the family. I'm glad that you guys navigated this thing. You guys are a little bit better equipped for it than we are down here in the city, but believe me, if something comes, I will be in my house.
That's exactly how I felt today, bro. I was like, I am right here. Yep. I'm not going anywhere. And Ray, I see that you watched Hard to Kill and the Battle in the Valley as well. Sean's got this one. I'm not allowed.
Lazy, faux, cheesy. Before I read his comment, let's talk about how Matthew Lopez always shows love on Twitter and social media. We appreciate you, my brother. Thank you for the kindness. It is not going unnoticed. People like Quilly as well. We appreciate you guys. Guy Will Gamble, Easy, all you guys. Thank you so much. Vinny, my favorite Vinny, coming up soon. But yes, M. Lazy Fashizi says, hello, good evening, all. Happy MLK Day. No better way to start the week than listening to the best podcast in the game, and go Bills. I appreciate that. We appreciate that, M. Lazy.
Thank you. Cray says my Steelers are getting whooped. I have hope. Listen, bro, I'm not counting any chickens till that clock hits 0-0, and I know it's over. So best believe
my preseason Super Bowl pick looks alive and well. Looks alive and well, brother Conrad.
Renegade L2K James from the Pro Wrestling Shoot says, I'm concerned about Sam Martin. That hammy gonna matter versus KC. We'll see, man. They got the best trainers in the world too. They can fix stuff. They can work on it for days and days and days and hours and hours and hours versus us normal people. We get, can I come after work? You know, that's not a thing for them. They can work on it all day. Remember, don't hinder the gender. Yo, listen. If y'all Jinder Mahal fans, I'm not the one. I'm going to tell you right now, I'm the worst person that you guys are going to want to be in there with.
Can I tell you my harshness against Jinder Mahal?
I
don't dislike Jinder Mahal. I just dislike that there's people, and I'm not going to, this is something that would be a rant, but I'm going to compose myself, okay? I'm going to keep this 30 seconds or less. Jinder Mahal is a hardworking, tough wrestler. I have no problem with him being in the company. I have no problem him being featured on television. My issue is that when you have people like Kurt Hennig, when you have people like Ravishing Rick Rude, Scott Hall, etc., who have not been world champions, and this gentleman has been a world champion, that bothers me. That is my only gripe.
Shinsuke Nakamura at his height was not good enough to beat this man. I am way worse than him. I am infuriated by that title reign. That title reign sucked. It sucked. It sucked. It sucked. It ruined SmackDown Live. That was the best show for a little bit there, and I was enjoying it. And then you went and did, actually it got bad after the whole Bray Wyatt, Randy Orton, like that WrestleMania 33. Like, I don't know what happened after that, but come on, dog. And Tony Khan, I don't even want to get into his tweets and all that stuff because I feel different than most. Oh, you're just sticking up for Tony Khan. Nah, WWE are bullies, but nobody wants to talk about the first part of what initiated Tony Khan stuff. But we'll get to that if Sean wants to.
Bro, I feel you.
Renegade L2K Hubs convinced Conrad he should have shoveled snow for his beloved Bills. No, I'm paying for that stadium that they didn't want to pay for. I don't get how owners can be like, yeah, I don't want to pay the whole thing. What do you own the team for? What did you think this was?
There you go.
Get out of here. Y'all got to be out of your mind. It's football time. Also, Britt Baker is at the game in Buffalo talking trash on IG. I don't care. I don't care. The Buffalo Bills are winning. Lions end a streak from my childhood of 1991. Awesome football. Welcome, Terrell. Welcome. So, Chiefs versus Lions prediction coming true for the Super Bowl. We'll see.
It's alive. It's alive, Terrell. It's not like it's going anywhere. I mean, you guys, that prediction will live another week, so don't worry.
I saw somebody say, "Dear Buffalo Bills, you are our only hope," and it showed Casey with like Taylor Swift and Kelsey's mom dancing and stuff. They were like, "Buffalo, please, you're our only hope to stop this."
Listen, I'm not a hater, but something about seeing Kelly Clarkson, where'd that come from? Something about Taylor Swift doing swag surfing in the luxury box really annoys the crap out of me. I swear it does. It really does. And I'm not a hater. I have no problem with them loving each other, liking each other. Everybody's entitled to be with who, but the fact that she's in there swag surfing with his mom really bothers me. Oh my God.
That had me cracking up. Guy Will Gamble said, what up, everybody? What up, Guy Will Gamble? McKinney said, yo, I'm here to talk wrestle with the Fire live chat and the powers of positivity clash of the podcast. To let y'all know, it's harder to accept help than it is to give it. Let's go.
McKinney, we appreciate you, McKinney. And I appreciate the DMs with the words of encouragement and the inspiration. We appreciate you, my G.
Doug, hopefully the second half is better for Pittsburgh. That first half was ugly. What up, Doug? Let me see.
As we speak, the Buffalo Bills' first possession of the second half is ending in a punt. So we'll see.
Ooh, we'll see. We got people talking TNA. T Swift will make a difference. Here we go. XG Dub says happy MLK Day. Thank you. Thank you. Entertain 45. Hello, everybody. Thank you. Vinny, the only Vinny we like. He said the hit stick on Diggs. Yes. My man E, I almost called him positively. E in the house. Easy E. Yo, happy MLK Day. Appreciate y'all, man. Look at that. Appreciate the Dr. King love. Deanna, another week, another killer podcast. What up? What up?
Appreciate you.
I'm trying to jump around to make sure we get everybody. Do I really like you guys? Maybe. Don't start teasing, Deanna. Don't start teasing. MLK and his teachings will live forever. If only we could live up to those teachings, we'd have to do better as a people, especially black, but humans in general love and respect one another. YOLO, you only live once. For those who don't know.
There you go.
Great speech, Mike says. Let's see here. Go Pack Go.
I think their magic carpet ride easy ends next week.
Next week,
I'm so excited about what they did against the Cowboys. I just don't like the Cowboys. I don't.
Who does? I mean, come on. They've been riding that Emmitt Smith wave since I was a kid. Knock it off.
They're the most non-winningest winning team. I mean, 95 was a long time ago, bro.
I love every year too where someone puts up the Bart Simpson meme where it's like, say it again, Cowboys fans. It's our year.
Every year. And then, listen, I'm going on the record. I like Dak Prescott, but I don't know, man.
Who's the higher coach for them? Is it Belichick?
I think Belichick, and believe me, it'll make me sick because Belichick will mess around and help them win. But the more realistic hire would probably be, I want to say Harbaugh, but Harbaugh's probably going to end up in LA or Vegas, so it's probably going to be Belichick.
Yeah, some people were saying it should have been. I forgot. Was it one of their coordinators should get the chance, but I don't know if he's going to get the chance. We'll see.
Quills is going to end up going Quills. Why am I'm mixing up everybody today? Their defensive coordinator is going to end up going somewhere else.
Interesting. You never know. My Steelers are not producing. Chicago are about to lose everyone to the Packers for the next 10 years again. I got nothing to say.
Love is a good quarterback. Yesterday was not a fluke. He is really good. That kid Love.
Yeah. Every fandom community has some kind of toxicity. Wrestling, comics, anime. Yeah.
Touché.
It's coming soon over here, bro. I hear you. Yep. Thank you, Hubs. NYC is getting a snowstorm tomorrow, followed by a blizzard Friday. Conrad, bring that blizzard down here to New York City. Hey, it's coming, bro. I ain't got nothing to do with it. Kyrie, you may have to shovel some snow for this Sunday versus KC. I'm not shoveling. I refuse. You have owners who get paid. If Pagula's next to me, maybe I'll help him. But that's it.
Crazy.
Jinder Mahal, Quill says, has no business whatsoever being a WWE World Champion, and to make it worse, they actually had the nerve to make this man United States Champion as well. Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. They did.
And to Quilly's point, didn't he win that U.S. title at WrestleMania?
Did he?
He did in a fatal four-way.
I thought he was champ before that because it was the four-way was like Orton, Jinder.
I want to say right? Bobby Roode.
Man, yo, we just sat through some bad WrestleManias, bro. We can't remember the mid-card champion matches. AJ Styles couldn't even get a good match out of Jinder. I was happy when AJ won, though. You should have seen me that night. I was like, yes, thank goodness. Survivor Series is saved. In all seriousness, can you remember 5 of Hook wins? Booker T talking. Booker T's a hater, bro. I'm done. Booker T, Eric Bischoff, they're done. Do not bring them up on here. I'm done with them. They always say some foolishness, man, because it's headlines and clickbait. That's it. I'm done.
Mahal won a fatal four-way against Orton, Roode, and Rusev Day at WrestleMania 34 for the United States Championship.
Uh-oh, there you go. Dropping the ball again, WWE.
Right. There you go.
95, I was playing WWF Raw and Genesis, and they still didn't do anything since. Belichick to the Cowboys may happen. No, goodness, I hope not. I hope not.
But the thing that would make me sick is that Belichick go there and they somehow get it done. Because I'm really loving the fact that Bill Belichick hasn't won anything since Tom Brady left. Because I'm holding on to that. Because I've always said, and I know this is going to sound real bad, okay? So let me preface it by saying Bill Belichick is a Hall of Fame coach, first ballot. I'm not saying anything different. But if you put Tom Brady next to Bill Belichick about who's more influential in that dynasty in New England, I'm picking Tom Brady. I don't care, bro, because when Tom Brady went to Tampa, he won another championship. Since Tom Brady left, Bill Belichick has not won anything.
I'm just saying, it just shows who, the classic, who made the WWE, Vince McMahon or Hulk Hogan? That whole art, well, that one we could never tell who did it because of how wrestling is.
Yeah.
But in sports, Tom Brady looks like he was the one who did it, not Bill. But we'll see.
Just saying.
McKinney, at what point is someone in AEW going to take TK's phone? Who's going to take the boss's phone away from him? Because he did more for Jinder Mahal in a few hours than WWE did for him in months, years. What did those tweets do for AEW? I'll wait. It actually got him more engagement. Go and look at his previous tweets when he says something nice. Where's BJ? BJ told me at one point in time that it's a crazy number. Like when there is some negativity or drama about AEW, their tweets get more eyeballs on them. Why is that? And we have to look at ourselves as a people. I'm the first one to blame fans for stuff too. People don't do that often. They're like, oh, it's not the fans' fault. It's the owner's fault. It's this guy's fault. No. Sean, as wrestling fans, why are people consuming that? So Tony Khan thinks that's a good idea to get stuff on his product. No one was talking about Dynamite. That's why he did it. That's why, and he thought, I'll get some engagement out of this.
What did you say, bro? You said it perfectly. It was clickbait. He was being strategic, a little bit immature, but strategic.
And I think he has a right to be mad. I don't like getting picked on.
I'm not mad at him poking the bear. They've been poking him.
So WWE on Fox tweets about football games now.
Come on, bro. Yes.
You tweet about the Jaguars not making the playoffs, but Tony Khan needs to put his social media down. We're not going to yell at the interns or whoever's controlling those accounts. USA Network makes a funny cage match rating joke. That's funny. That's cool to do. I guess it's okay to pick on people when they're owners of companies or when they don't do things. I told y'all. And then I got to hear Tony Khan should be more like Gomez. Why? Why is that always a phrase I hear? Why is everyone compared to him? You know who you need to be worried about? You need to check your boy Triple H. What are you going to do about this whole Rock problem you got? Rock got more followers than anybody. Do you think The Rock's coming back for this mess? Nick Khan's his buddy? You're going to have people in your ears. Are you going to sacrifice CM Punk and Seth Rollins night one to make Cody happy? Are you going to give Cody the main event that he rightfully deserves? What are you going to do now? You should have did it last year, and you blew it. You blew it. Now you got yourself in a hard spot.
As far as my two massive predictions that I made. All right, so here's the deal. Going on the record right now, Conrad and chat. All right, let's get this out the way. All right,
we're not there's going to be no vetoing.
No, of course not. Of course not. Okay. I never go back on what I say. Come on, brother. Look, I said Rock would never come back. No, I didn't say that. I said Rock would never wrestle. That's still technically true until he wrestles. It looks like he's going to wrestle. So I'm going to concede that more than like, and believe me, if he doesn't wrestle, I will come back and remind you that I was right.
Well, we don't know when.
Right. But here's the thing. That's where I was going with it. I did say The Rock would not come back and wrestle. It's looking like that's probably going to be incorrect. But you know the other part of that equation that I'm very right about? I told you that somehow, some way, Cody would not finish the story at WrestleMania 40. I told you. I said it. Now, if I'm wrong about Rock, once Rock is in the ring and there's a bell, I will be officially wrong about my Rock prediction. But Cody finishing the story in Philadelphia on April 2nd, because Rock is not facing Roman Reigns at Elimination Chamber. Oh, no, he's not. That is not happening. According to all sources, all reliable, unreliable, media, social media, it's looking like Rock and Roman Reigns will not do that at Elimination Chamber. So there's only one place they can do it, and that's at WrestleMania. And I don't think a triple threat match is going to happen.
Right. And I saw some people saying, well, Rock could go there. Listen, and I don't believe the Roman Reigns isn't going to be at Elimination Chamber. If I paid money, imagine if you're the country of Australia. Hold on. We're getting into this, y'all, for a second, because this is good talk for a second. If we talk pro wrestling, Sean, you're Australia, and you're like, yo, Conrad, I want the WWE to come. You work with Triple H and them. Help me out. Mm-hmm. And you're like, I'm going to give you, I don't know how much money was. Do you remember the price?
I don't, but it was massive.
Let's just say here's $1 million, right? I put whatever it's supposed to be in there. I'm going to give you this much money, Conrad. Okay, here's what you're going to get. You could have Rhea Ripley. We got CM Punk coming back. You'll get him too. And that's it. I hope you enjoy the show. Cody will be there too. Okay? You're going to look at me and be like,
yeah,
where's Roman Reigns? That's what I paid for. So Roman Reigns, I think, is going to have to show up. Now, do you get The Rock? That might be a cherry on top to say, yo, you pay for these, you might get this. But I don't know, man. And like some people said, what's the time difference? What time is the show going to air? Are we going to be waking up on Saturday at 5 a.m.? If that's what I don't know what they're going to do. So we'll see. Maybe WWE doesn't care about that. Fine. That's great.
Time will tell. I'm just saying, like, at the end of the day, like, the person who makes out smelling like the opposite of roses is Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes, somewhere right now, whether he's in Augusta or tonight he's wherever Raw is not happy, because I'm telling you, the writing is on the wall.
Is it Alabama? I don't remember where it is tonight. It's somewhere like that, or Arkansas. I can't remember.
But right now, I'm telling you, it's looking like Cody is not going to finish. He might finish the story at SummerSlam, but he's not finishing the story at WrestleMania.
Well, I agree with your point that I had just put up there too. Got to wait till we have all the facts before we speak on that situation. But I'm leaving that one where it is. We'll talk about that once we have more info concerning Mr. Y2J. McKinney says, but is anyone going to watch the show or wait for another tweet because the ratings, which are horrible, speak volumes? I'm not going to lie, man. I have to say this. The goalpost moving is crazy. Sean, do you remember a couple of years ago when Raw's TV ratings were going down every week? The decline was like this.
Yes.
Man, television's doing bad. This is across the board for anyone who doesn't know. Television cable ratings are doing really bad. So people should keep expecting to see declines, but not when it's AEW. Oh, no, Millie. It's funny. I'm just saying, McKinney, that there's things that people like to say, but then when it's AEW, it changes. It's not the same. It's, oh, well.
And I'm having difficulty understanding why people make so many excuses for World Wrestling Entertainment, but always throw All Elite Wrestling under the bus. I'm having difficulty understanding why that is.
And it goes both ways. Tony, I personally think Tony should not be tweeting stuff like that. This is my personal opinion, though. Tony shouldn't, but I get why he did it. I understand why he did it.
Right.
Oh, man. Just saw that a player is being carted off. My boy Bernard.
Yep.
Great Bills player. Yikes. Prayers up to him. Hopefully he is okay. Never good to see that. Let me go to McKinney commented back. TK is touching. It doesn't take much to set him off. If you look after the tweets from Fox on TK, ran with the football and made himself look bad. I'm just saying. But there's only so much you could take. This is what I go back to, McKinney. I'm going to leave it at this. And Sean, you can say whatever you want after this. If you don't stand up to WWE, they are going to walk over you. I'm sorry to say this. This is going to sound mean. But I want you to look at the last, when did TNA get bad? When did Dixie sell it? Do you remember 15, 16?
2017, actually.
17? Whenever. Let's just use the last 5 years, for example. Do you want to be Ring of Honor? Or Impact Wrestling? Do you know what happened to them? You get the scraps. I take what I want, and you should be glad that I let you live, is how they treat them. And I'm not trying to be funny. I'm being so serious. They were like, Ring of Honor, I'm taking Seth Rollins or Tyler Black. People forget that he started there. I'm taking Bryan Danielson from you. I'm taking whomever from you. And New Japan's even feeling the effects of this now. They take whoever they want. They do whatever they want. Tony Khan, so what's he supposed to do? Go ahead. I'm number 2. I'm okay with it. They're going to walk all over him, and they're taking his talent now, too. The man's mother was in the hospital, and they contract tampered with him. He takes this personally. I get that he shouldn't, because your emotions may get you messed up, but I can see how you could get upset with that you're trying to take his talent while he's dealing with something else in his life that's personal. He probably puts those together.
Which is reprehensible and disgusting.
Right, and I'm sure Tony Khan's done it too, where he stole Jeff Hardy. You don't mean to tell me he wasn't like, yo, Matt, when's your brother available? Can you talk to him for me? That's business. I get it. But WWE was also trying to blatantly do it in front of them. Look at the Regal stuff now. You know, like, it's what it is, bro. There's no perfect sides to this. TK, stop tweeting. Get a PR team, please, for yourself, so you can focus on other things. That's where I stand. I don't know if you want to say anything.
No, I don't think there's anything to add because I think you hit the nail right on the head.
Ask DC and Warner Brothers about The Rock. He gonna get what he wants. Terrible, E. Terrible. No, The Rock brought down all of WB and the sky is falling. He asked for something and they gave it to him. They acquiesced. Word of the day. I think it's good for Cody if he doesn't finish the story at Mania. It would make the win bigger if they wait, Cray says. Do you think people... Sean, let me ask you this. Do people still believe in Cody if it doesn't happen at Mania? If he does something else?
I think it's starting to waver now. Like, to answer your question, no, but I think it's starting to waver now. I think the big... Listen, people think that the worst thing that happened to Cody Rhodes is The Rock coming back. The worst thing that happened to Cody Rhodes is CM Punk coming back. Because Cody is a secondary thought now. Y'all know that CM Punk is focused on Seth Rollins, and that's where this thing's going to end up. But as far as top tier, as far as who's the man on Raw, Cody Rhodes is now second place. And if you count the entire roster on SmackDown and Raw, Rock obviously takes the top spot when it comes to everybody, right? It's like CM Punk 1 and Rock 1A, or Rock 1 and CM Punk 1A. Cody Rhodes, it's starting to unravel. And I'm telling you right now, the writing on the wall that Cody Rhodes is not going to finish the story at WrestleMania, to your point, Conrad, if we have to wait till summer.
Cody's PR team working overtime, bro. He said he's going to be the best man at someone's wedding. He bought tickets for TWC. And I'm happy all those kids get to go to WrestleMania in New York City. Good for them. I wish I had a wrestling club like that when I was a kid. That's what TWC stands for, by the way. And shout out to Perry, who's doing all the work with those kids. Like, that's amazing. I don't know what else to say. Like, he is trying to make sure, like, yo, I'm your guy. Look at me. I'm your guy. Please don't do this to me. I am your guy.
We're starting to look desperate, too. I see BJ's comment. I disagree with that, Hubs. Cody is the next John Cena for all I saw. Yeah, before CM Punk came back. I would have agreed with that before Thanksgiving. But now, no. You know, Cody Rhodes, it's almost starting to look like Cody Rhodes is like that corny dude that wants a date, and unfortunately, like, CM Punk's the cool kid, and then here comes Rock, and Rock is the cool kid, and, you know, the girl that wanted to date Cody Rhodes is now looking at Rock and Punk, and it's like, oh, yeah, you were cool, Cody, when you were the only option. Why don't people recognize that, Conrad? Cody Rhodes was popping because there was nobody else.
Cody, like I said, he took the bag because there was no one there to take the bag. It was if it wasn't Cody, it was someone else. Someone was going to take that bag eventually from WWE to cross over. Right. You're not tired of being number 6 in AEW? Come on over. But they got an EVP, bigger feather in their cap. They got him.
Let me say something even more controversial, but I think it's still right on the money. Cody Rhodes survived a torn pectoral muscle and 8 months off. Cody Rhodes can't survive CM Punk and The Rock as it relates to being the number one guy.
I think there's going to be a power jousting. I do think Cody's popularity is still there, but I'm worried about after Mania. Like I said, from now, he's all right, but my question is, what do you do? Because you're going to make somebody mad in this situation. And Cody, do you want to make Seth...
Conrad, it's over.
No. Over. Well, Sean, wait, there's still hope, though. I've seen people say, like, oh, well, maybe they do a triple threat. Maybe, which I don't think is the way.
The triple threat's still on the table, but I'm telling you, I think it's over. I think we're all, and I gotta throw myself and you out in traffic for this one, and all the people in the chat that we appreciate. I think all of us are overthinking this thing by a great deal. Let's just be elementary and just do the brass tacks of the whole situation. Rock, Roman Reigns. Rock, Roman Reigns. Stop thinking about triple threats. Because I'm saying, I've done it too. Stop thinking about different ways to make sure that Cody gets his moment at WrestleMania 40. Stop thinking about alternative endings and elimination chambers and who's going to win the Royal Rumble. It's Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson and Roman Reigns. That will be the main event of night 2 of WrestleMania. It's over. It's over. That's it. Stop overthinking it. It's over.
We're wrestling fans. It's what we must do.
No, me too. Listen, I was with The Rock's never coming back. I was wrong. Oh, when the Rock's in the ring and there's a bell, then I'll be officially wrong. But The Rock 9 times out of 10 is back for this pay-per-view for WrestleMania. It's over. Stop. Sometimes we do too much in our minds. Like, okay, Rock, it looks like Rock's back from Mania, so how can we still sneak Cody Rhodes in there? It's over. It's being pushed back. Have fun at SummerSlam because it's not going to happen on April 2nd. It's over.
BJ, I respect BJ. He said, I can't wait for Wednesday. Wednesday, we're doing a State of AEW address with the Dynamite review, so make sure you guys are tuned in for that one. That's going to be interesting, I think. E is coming in here. Nah, fam, the WWE bashed their horrible 3 hours of Raw because those were horrible, but AEW keep talking. We the best on cable Wednesday night. You have to look at that. What? WWE made the choice to go 3 hours, though. Like, even when they were making that choice, I said that was a bad idea, McKinney. That's a bad idea. Nitro wasn't good at 3 hours. I don't remember any Nitros that I enjoyed at the 3 hour mark. Do you? It was the same feeling. Like, it's just bad.
Yeah, I mean, Nitro was cool at 3 hours at the beginning, but it became stale very fast. Yes.
BJ said, make sure you like the video. We get more in the chat. We got more in the chat than likes on the vid. Please hit that like button. Please, 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 please.
We appreciate that.
TK is an emotional boy. He said, yeah, the XFL, the UFL is now the XFL and USFL merged. What is the point with Cody? Bring him down only to build him up even bigger? I don't think that's the point. I think it's just an unfortunate circumstances. They didn't think Rock was coming back. I think they stopped believing.
Everybody Cody, you know what? I'm going to say something I never thought I would say. Cody is like me, and I'm like Cody. The same way I've been telling the world, The Rock's never going to come back. Dwayne's never going to come back. He's never going to wrestle again. Cody was thinking the same thing. Cody was thinking as Conrad does the Rock post. Cody was thinking the same thing. There's no way on God's green earth Cody thought that Dwayne Johnson, The Rock, was coming back. He thought it was a done deal. When The Rock made that call after 47 voicemails and called back Triple H and said, you know what, I'll give it one more. And he decided to do it. I'm going to say it again, Conrad. Conrad, this is for you. This is for everybody in the chat. Okay? I say this with love on the great Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King's birthday. It's over. Take the thought of Cody Rhodes winning the undisputed title at WrestleMania 40 out of your minds. It's over. Stop overthinking it. Roman Reigns and The Rock are going to main event night 2 of WrestleMania 40. It's over. Cody Rhodes will have his moment, hopefully, at WrestleMania, at SummerSlam. It's not happening at WrestleMania, bro. It's over. Shut it down. Get your mind wrapped around, just like I had to get my mind wrapped around it. Get your mind wrapped around it. It's over.
BJ said Cody is going to be in that triple threat. Bro, we cannot have Roman win and pin The Rock like that. You can't do it.
BJ,
and honestly,
BJ, I have come to respect you. I'd like to think you've come to respect me. It ain't going to happen, bro. Cody Rhodes is not going to find himself in the ring with Roman Reigns and The Rock. It's not going to happen.
I feel like it's two separate stories, but I don't know how they would bring them together. Like, what's Rock and Cody's beef besides I want to be the one to take Roman down? Okay. But maybe they pull this off. Listen, I'm interested just to see how they write this. And can you imagine just imagine they mess with Punk and Seth for a second. Seth Rollins is in a contract year. I don't even know if he's re-signed. Him and Becky may both get mad and say, "Hey Tony, how you doing?" This is what I'm talking. This is what Tony Khan needs to be waiting for, is a mistake made by Triple H. Just like Triple H, wait for Tony Khan to make a mistake. That mistake was Brawl Out and Cody. They were right there like, we're here, baby. Tony, you need to be ready to catch the ball when it's getting punted to you. Don't fumble it. Don't drop it. So when they make a mistake, you swoop in. Seth, I always loved you, baby, if you will. I want you to come over here. Come over to the WCW, if you will. We got you. Cody, you can come home, too. We need you, baby. Come on back. Like, they can do that, but that's what they have to do.
Right.
People are saying they're going to let him pass. I think people are more tired of Roman than Cody. This isn't the territory. Roman isn't bouncing city to city to fight anyone. The run is tiresome. If it doesn't happen at 40, it's going to be hard. It's going to be interesting to see what people think here. Do we even know if Cody has re-signed a new deal? I don't know nothing. Pro Wrestler Shoots in the house. Rock will be gone after Mania. Punk goes heel, and Cody stays top face. Maybe.
I'm not saying that's impossible. It's not.
WWE fans have been highly agreeable with the booking lately, too. There's been some times where I'm like, you should be rioting, and they're not. And I'm like, I don't like when Cody lost. I thought fans should have lost it in that stadium. They did not.
Oh, yeah.
So,
but was it just me, or did I hear a little cheering?
Yeah, but now if you flip it back, we got more Punk fans up in here, so they might be a little more rah.
Let me go on the record with you, Conrad, because I don't even think you know this yet about me. I feel bad for Cody Rhodes. Don't get it twisted. I'm not enjoying this development. I feel bad for Cody Rhodes. But back at 39 when it didn't work out, the writing was on. I'm not saying Cody Rhodes will end up being WWE World Champion, but it's not going to happen the way you think, man. I'm telling you, it's over, bro. It's over. And for people like Jesse from the Pro Wrestling Shoot, man, listen, my dog, I appreciate you, brother. You know, it's all love. I have nothing against Cody Rhodes, but if Rock is in the building, it's not going to happen.
We got to see, man. Like I said, I think Rock's getting to call more shots than people think. I just can't see him saying, I'm going to come back, promote the UFL, and then go out at Chamber. I know that's what people want, but this is The Rock, too. Like, The Rock calls shots. Rock doesn't want to wrestle. I want people to remember this. Rock is done in his mind. He's doing this because family asked him to. And I'm sure Vince and all the homies were there, too. Like, yeah, Rock is going to be great, blah, 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 whatever. Rock is like, okay, well, how can I make more money off this? How can I promote my brand? How can I get in it? He's trying to get into different movies. Let me do some of this stuff on TV, maybe. He's going to want the most eyes on this. Are there more eyes on the Elimination Chamber? Or are there more eyes on WrestleMania?
Can we also acknowledge another elephant in the room that some people are overlooking right now? Sean, why are you so confident that it's going to be Rock versus Roman Reigns? Don't you think, beside everything that Brother Conrad just articulated about the big stage, about the comparison between Elimination Chamber and WrestleMania, what about the other factor? What other factor are you talking about, Sean? That The Rock wants to main event WrestleMania with his cousin? And that if Rock doesn't want it to be a triple threat match, it ain't gonna be a triple threat match. Let's calm this thing down a little bit, bro.
You know him and Stone Cold say they got some creative control. It's me, you, and I guess it's Triple H now, but it was probably Gomez before that. They probably went in saying like, "Nah, it's you and me, dog. Well, let's go in the room and talk about this." No, I'm not doing this, or you know what I mean?
And it's like people, Conrad, forget what I've been saying this whole time. Listen, as much as I like The Rock, I didn't want this, bro. Can you remind me? I didn't want this to happen.
No. I see everybody saying stop. It's because he's going to do it at 41. WWE is getting a lot of money from Perth. We acknowledge that, Joel. We definitely did.
This wasn't my dream scenario. I stood up on my imaginary soapbox and said The Rock would never come back. I'm not happy about this. But now that he's in the mix, what are we doing? Like, let's wake up, people. If The Rock and Roman Reigns are in the building at WrestleMania 40, it's over. Like, I don't understand what's going on. Are we really going to give Cody the nod over? I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm saying it's not going to happen.
BJ says, did you forget they added Bryan to the Edge Roman Mania match for no reason? Edge won a singles match. Yes, they did that. That was fine. But we also remember what happened. Stack them up, done, have a good night. And they let Roman walk away, big dog again, which, whatever. That's fine for what it is. But these are different situations. Cody Rhodes and The Rock are at two different points right now. Cody is your future, which they have to be careful with. But at the same time, this is The Rock. You don't have many more times to use. This is probably the last time you're ever going to get to use him. How bad do you want to do it? And this ain't a Shawn decision. This ain't a Conrad. This is a Nick Khan, Triple H, and the homies decision. I don't know who's all part of their crew who get to make these decisions.
If it was up to Sean Hubbard, Dwayne would still be doing movies. This is not my idea. But now that he's back, now that my smile turned to a frown on January 1st, when Conrad called me and told me to watch Raw, and I turned my channel and I saw The Rock, and I was all pissed off, I have to accept reality, bro. I'm not happy about it, but it is what it is.
Wait a minute. Dude, nobody should want to sign to AEW right now.
Why not?
Why wouldn't somebody want more money? I listen, if Seth Rollins and CM Punk get screwed in the situation and Seth Rollins has to sign to WWE, he's going to listen to something that Tony Khan has to say. He ain't that much of a company man. How many times can you get played the fool? How many times, bro? You'll never main event WrestleMania again. Don't even ask. You're never going to main event WrestleMania. And if you count night one even at that, I'm sure him and Punk are going to eventually feel some type of way about that too. You know what I mean?
And by the way, don't be mad because I've already got my mind wrapped around this thing now, Conrad. Since Rock showed up on January 1st, since my whole world crumbled on January 1st, I've wrapped my head around everything now. I don't put nothing past The Rock. Dwayne Johnson could win the Royal Rumble for all I know.
Right. And like I said, don't get mad at The Rock. If The Rock's like, no, I'm main event in WrestleMania, don't get mad at The Rock. Because it's technically not The Rock's. All he can do is say, will you acquiesce to what I'm asking you? You know whose fault it is? Tell him, Sean. Tell him whose fault it is.
Triple H's fault. It's always been Triple H's fault.
He's in charge of the creative. Jesse, if he wanted to, he would tell Rock, hey, Rock, listen, bro, I need you to do Elimination Chamber. But listen to what I'm saying. They've begged The Rock to come back. This isn't The Rock like, please let me wrestle a match. This is, you've begged me to do this, and I signed the dotted line. So now you need to do what I said, which is, I need this match at WrestleMania. I need this to happen. I need that to happen. And I need you to promote this for me. Can we get that done?
And the fact that they were the
my writers will be here.
And to Conrad's completely accurate point about how they knocked down The Rock's door to get him to come back. Hey, Dwayne, please come back. Dwayne, please come back. What does that have to say about how they feel about Cody?
No, I think they were trying to get this match, and this is how you stay in Rock's good graces to keep the conversations going. And then it's kind of like what am I looking for? When you know that relationship that's going on, that all of a sudden someone's at your front doorstep with all the stuff. You're like, man, you can stay with me if something ever happens. Yeah, don't worry about it. They're together for a few more years, and all of a sudden they're at your doorstep now. Yeah, this ain't a good time. Man, you said anytime I needed it. Yeah, come on in.
I also want to acknowledge a comment or a question actually that BJ threw out there, which is if I'm paraphrasing because I don't really see it on my screen, but if Cody Rhodes ends up in the triple threat, and it's Rock it's Rock, Cody, and Roman, and Cody wins, will you agree that he's the man? I certainly would. If somehow this becomes a triple threat and Cody wins,
Cody better thank The Rock because I'm sure The Rock allowed it.
that
I'm being dead serious.
thank you. I mean, at least thank you, Conrad. This is The Rock is the one calling the shots, and Triple H is acquiescing to everything he's asking for.
Right, because and if Triple H says no, guess who Rock's gonna go to? My childhood friend, if that's true. I don't even know, Nick Khan. And they're like, what's up, buddy? Boom, I need this taken care of. Yo, Hunter, I'm your boss, bro. We gotta you gotta tear that script up and do this again. You know what I mean? So just pay attention to the games. This is gonna be interesting. I think Cody should have won already. I think Cody deserves the world title. I'm not saying that. And Roman's reign, I got exactly what McKinney was saying.
I'm not anti Cody Rhodes. I'm just talking reality right now. Look, I'm gonna say it one more time and then I'm gonna move on. Dwayne Johnson returning to World Wrestling Entertainment to steal a WrestleMania main event is not something I'm happy about. But now that he's back, it is what it is.
Yeah. Seth ain't signing to AEW. Mark my words. Well, then I don't want to hear no complaining, no BI itching. I covered that one up for you, Sean. I don't want to hear none of it when you don't. Why doesn't the company give me a chance? Listen, Savage, you just sat here and played this game for how long? It's time to get up and make something for yourself. Mm-hmm. There's an opportunity out there. I don't want to hear about all this. Oh, I didn't get a chance. The chance was there in front of you if you decide to do it. Now, it's going to probably depend on what him and Becky Lynch want to do, but you'd be a fool not to go over and talk and listen to TK. You'd be a fool. And I don't like when some of the people are like, I'm staying with insert whatever company it is. Okay. You just played yourself out of money if you're really talking like that and you mean that. But let's move on here, guys. We got to talk about some of these other shows. Thank you, though, Joel. I saw some good nuggets of info in there. We're gonna get into. Trust me, this will be a conversation for weeks to come. Trust me, and it's gonna be a conversation when we are on Hubbard Wrestling Weekly coming up on a Thursday. It is hold on, I gotta look at my handy dandy calendar here. The 25th of January. Yes. Make sure you are there with us. We are going to be discussing some Royal Rumble stuff, its history, and all its goodness with the Pro Wrestling Shoot. It should be a fun time.
Yes, also really fun nugget that our good friend and historian Crystal will also now be joining us. So it's going to be a fatal four-way edition of the Hubbard Wrestling Weekly show. And just to whet your appetite a little bit for January 25th, if you think about how Jesse from Pro Wrestling Shoot feels about Cody Rhodes, and you know my take on how WrestleMania is going to go, and you know how Conrad likes to stir it up, and you know how Crystal always gets on me for hating on The Rock, this is definitely going to be a show you're looking forward to. And by the way, another major announcement, since you set me up for this, Conrad, I appreciate this. This is an exclusive here on EPW. I want to let you guys know that Fight TV, formerly Fight TV, Triller TV, is going to provide one of the listeners or viewers on Thursday, January 25th, 8:05 p.m. on the Hubbard Wrestling Weekly channel, a code to watch the next Revolver pay-per-view absolutely free on that very same night. So make sure you come to Hubbard Wrestling Weekly for a special edition of Clash of the Podcast on the Hubbard Wrestling Weekly channel as we preview and retrospect Royal Rumble, and one of my viewers will get a code to watch the next Revolver pay-per-view that same night for free courtesy of Triller TV.
Sean, let's jump into some TNA. Let's jump in.
Well, it's kind of hard to kill that notion.
I wish I had it up right now. But
that was meant to be corny, and it worked out perfectly. Thank you for that. I appreciate that. Let's jump into Hard to Kill because honestly, first of all, I want to just start by saying that kudos to TNA Wrestling because they did not drop the ball on this night of revival.
So you thought this was a successful relaunch, rebranding?
I think it was a B+ to A- show, and I think that's an awesome way to come out of the gates with the rebrand.
Interesting. I thoroughly enjoyed the show as well for what they did. I really don't have much to say. I don't know if we want to go through each and every match.
No, no, let's
But
let's not do that because we have some really cool stuff to talk about before we get off the air tonight. Um, as we prepare for Monday Night Raw, which is coming up in about an hour from now. I want to talk.
I gotta give a shout out to Rich Swann on the pre-show though before I forget. Yo, shout out to the Flash Funk tribute. I don't know if anyone peeped it that he came out. It was like Rich Swann's dressed like a superhero. I was like, I didn't watch the pre-show because I didn't have access to the TNA Plus. I watched on Triller, and when they went on, they had Rich Swann, and I looked. I was like, yo, that's Flash Funk, and then everybody put the outfit that it was on there, and I'm a huge Too Cold Scorpio Flash Funk fan.
As am I. So big shout out. Let's go down the tiers. We'll stop and pause at some matches I think that we should highlight, Conrad, if that's all right.
Yeah.
Steve Macklin, unfortunately, I say unfortunately just because I predicted that Rich Swann would win, defeated Steve Macklin defeated Rich Swann in the pre-show. The System was victorious over Kazarian and Eric Young. And Crazy Steve defeated Tommy Dreamer for the TNA Digital Media Championship. Now, one match I do want to highlight. First of all, Eric Young was the person who opened up the show for TNA, kind of welcoming the fans back to TNA and, basically allowing us to know that, hey, listen, we're back. It was very nice to hear from him. I think it was a really good choice of the company to have him be kind of like the person to say, hey, welcome back to TNA. I thought he carried himself and articulated his point quite well, which led us to the opening contest of Hard to Kill, which is a match I do want to highlight. Giselle Shaw, Alicia Edwards, Dana Luna, Jody Threat, Tasha Steele, and Brookside for a number one contender Ultimate X match. Conrad, how did you feel about this match? Because I feel like the ladies really put on.
I think the ladies deserve a round of applause for this one. These matches are scary, but I'll tell you, I would not be the one you want to put in one of these. Like I will be crying tears, really badly for doing this. But it worked out exactly how I thought it would in this one, so I really can't complain too much. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it a lot.
I did too. Giselle Shaw, I think, got her moment, obviously, to become number one contender for the Knockouts Championship. As we focus more on the women's title match later on in the evening, we know that the winner of this Knockout X Division match was going to be, or Knockout Ultimate X match, excuse me, was going to be someone that's going to help the new champion or former champion or whatever who ended up winning the world title match later that night, usher in the TNA era of the women's division as the company has now changed. So it was very important. I think a big nod to Giselle Shaw about how they feel about her moving into the future, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, I think Giselle Shaw winning, that's who I predicted. It was the right call, I thought. Giselle Shaw's been amazing this past year for the Knockouts division, and I thought it was a lot of fun.
Absolutely. So Giselle Shaw is moving forward into her career as the number one contender for the Women's Knockout Championship in TNA Wrestling. PCO, one of my favorite wrestlers in the world right now, was victorious against Dirty Dango. I actually didn't see that coming. I predicted PCO to win, but in a very tongue-in-cheek kind of way. I thought Dirty Dango would get the nod. But PCO wins at Hard to Kill, Conrad.
Yeah, quick DQ, added Rhino to the match. It became like a six-man tag with Jake something. That was fun. I have no complaints. I thought PCO's entrance looked great. How they came out and did the old Frankenstein bit with the stuff over him, and then he finally sat up, and everyone's like, "Oh!"
It was
So
amazing.
that was good.
And to your point, which I'm really glad you made, PCO was 2-0 on Saturday night because he won the individual match and then ended up winning the six-man tag with Rhino and Jake something. So that was really good for him. The Decay are the new Knockouts Tag Team Champions as they return on the scene, defeating MK Ultra. I kind of found this as a surprise. Well, the return obviously is any return is a surprise, but I thought MK Ultra were going to hold on to those belts for quite a while. But it turned out the DK kind of came out and shocked the world a little bit.
I thought that was the right move. They kind of put Decay on pause if you watch the weekly shows, and they were doing their other gimmicks, and then all of a sudden brought them back, boom, instantly over, and gave them the tag belts. The Knockouts division is strong. This is why I always say this is the best booked women's division. Hear me out. They have a strong world champion and they have a strong tag division to where they can do both and they keep it flowing. It doesn't stop. So kudos to them for that.
Sound assessment on your part, Conrad. Um, Match of the night for me was the upcoming match where it was a triple threat or three-way match, whatever you want to call it, for the TNA X Division Championship. Chris Sabin, Vikingo, and Kushida. All jokes aside about how I feel like Kushida dresses, neither here nor there. I really thought that everybody put on in this match. I really was excited about how the match looked on paper, and it did not disappoint. And I was also really excited to see that my prediction came true because I was a little bit worried about that. But like I said, on a night where TNA was reborn, it's really awesome to see a TNA original come out with a massive victory of this magnitude, retaining the TNA X Division championship as Chris Sabin was victorious on Saturday night. How did you feel about the outcome of this match?
I was fine with it. I had no issues with it. Vikingo absolutely insane in this one. I thought all four did something good, and they all brought different styles. Like I said to it, Saban's kind of that old school high flyer. Then you got Vikingo, who's the modern day like luchador, who's going to do anything crazy, and then you had like the submission expert and ground type of wrestler in Kushida. I thought it worked great for them. Crazy spots in this one. Saban was the right winner, I thought.
Right. To BJ's question, I like anything other than the bubble jacket. But yes, Chris Sabin, the TNA original, becomes retains the X Division Championship in Las Vegas. Then we have Josh Alexander against Alex Hammerstone. I'm so thrilled that Josh Alexander was victorious. I do not think, even though Alex Hammerstone has emerged on the scene as someone who could possibly be a player in TNA moving forward, I think a show of this magnitude, you have to showcase a Josh Alexander in a victorious role, which is why I think we both predicted that he would win. And
no, you convinced me. Because I was about to sit up there and be like, Hammerstone's winning, blah, blah, blah. Then all of a sudden you were like, bro, how many times Josh Alexander? I was like, good point, excellent point. I'm switching.
Yeah, so Josh Alexander comes out victorious. And
that was one of my favorite matches, though, on the card. Like, that was hard hitting.
It was a great match. And for me, Josh Alexander has emerged as someone who I consider to be one of the best wrestlers in the world in any organization. This guy really is a machine. And, he's like Kurt Angle 2.0, and I love that. I think he's really, really excellent. So the former Impact / TNA World Champion is victorious over Alex Hammerstone. Moving forward, we're going into the Fatal 4-Way for the World Tag Team Championships with Total Nonstop Action Wrestling. I was wrong about this. I predicted that the Grizzled Young Vets would become the new champions, but ABC, as my colleague and friend Conrad predicted, retained the titles. How'd you feel about this match?
Loved it. This was tough to pick a winner, though. We know Trent Seven ran into.
But you did.
But that could have went anyway. If the Rascals would have won, I wouldn't have been surprised. I'd have been like, good for them. Right. They went out there and crushed. I thought the Grizzled Young Veterans are a great addition to TNA. If they can get them, get them. ABC making their mark. Listen, those two are future main eventers. I know what I said. They will be competing in main events eventually. Chris Bay and Ace Austin are two people that you definitely want to keep in your wrestling Rolodex for people to look out for in the upcoming years. And I thought that Mike Bailey, this dude's a wrestling machine. He's going to keep crushing. This was great. This was great.
100%. And definitely sometimes these four-way matches, especially four-way tag matches, we're talking about 8 guys. Unfortunately, sometimes the match gets a little bit jumbled and things get lost in translation in the ring. But these 4 teams really put on. Shout out to Conrad for putting me on to Mike Bailey. He wrestled really well. Everybody knows the Grizzled Young Veterans from their time in NXT. And ABC, a.k.a. the Bullet Club, retained the belts, which I was really excited about. I'm never excited to be wrong, but I'm excited I was wrong in this case because ABC is legitimate, and I really like them as a team. The next 2 matches were the 2 main events of the evening for the women's title and the World Heavyweight Championship. Both Conrad and I were correct about our 2 predictions. However, it's one of those things where it's like we kind of saw the writing on the wall. So what I want to talk about, Conrad, when it comes to talk about Grace versus Trinity, is the importance of when somebody's rumored to be leaving and going out in a way that people forget to boo you because you're leaving because they appreciate you so much. One match I often reference because I was there is Brock Lesnar versus Goldberg at WrestleMania 20. Everybody knew that both were leaving. The fans would not forgive them for that. And it added to it that the match was horrible. So if you're going to leave or it's going to be rumored that you're going to leave, what you want to avoid is the "you sold out" chance. You want to avoid the match translation being lost. And I want to give big time credit to both Grace and Trinity for not allowing it getting lost in the sauce about Trinity's rumored departure from TNA. They definitely had a good match. There was a point where I thought I would be wrong because it looked like Trinity was going to come out on top. But as predicted, Jordynne Grace did become the new TNA Knockouts World Champion, showing respect to Trinity. And off camera, as a lot of us I'm sure saw on social media, YouTube, etc., Trinity was able to say her goodbyes to the TNA crowd, or what seemed to be a goodbye, as we all predict and presume that she is going to be getting herself together for a WWE return at the Royal Rumble. But that being said, if there's going to be a person to carry that women's world title mantle, Jordynne Grace is a tremendous choice. So Trinity looks like she's leaving TNA, and Jordynne Grace the new TNA Knockouts champion.
Yeah, McKinney is bringing up the rumors too if WWE and TNA were working together. I just don't see how it benefits WWE. But if it were true, he said that WWE, TNA, AJPW, and AAA working together, the one-off matches are endless, and it definitely would work for the house shows money.
Absolutely.
Definitely would. I just don't think WWE plays well with others. When you're number one, you don't have to either. Sadly.
Right.
Yeah. Knockouts Championship.
Yeah, go ahead, Conrad.
No, I was going to say Knockouts Championship, and Trinity's still around right now, so
yeah,
it's not over yet.
And to Quill's point about how we all knew the ending, but yet a 9 out of 10, in my opinion, 8 out of 10 match. I mean, kudos to you. If it's going to be Conrad versus Sean, and before Conrad, if it's going to be Conrad, and matter of fact, I'll make it more real. If it's going to be Conrad and Sean doing Clash of the Podcast, and we all know that Conrad just signed his deal with WWE, and this is going to be the last show, God forbid, we're going to go out on top. I'm going to keep the mantle going, and Conrad's going to ride off in the sunset, but we're not going to do it in a way where it's going to be corny on the way out. We want to make sure we go out the right way, and that's what Trinity did.
Absolutely.
So big shout out to her. So now we go on to the main event. Let's kind of get the semantics out of the way. Both Conrad and I were correct about the outcome of this match.
I predicted Shelley. I was wrong.
I thought you rocked with me on Moose.
Nope, I got that. I got Trinity wrong and this one wrong.
Oh, so I gave you. I thought we was on the same page for most. Okay, my fault.
I did good on everything above that, and then these two I blew it.
Well, let's go. Hold on a second, because now you got me interested. From the main card, I know I picked Shaw to win that, so I was right about that.
I picked Shaw too.
Okay. PCO. I said Dirty Dango. Okay. The six-man tag was not on the card. You definitely picked the K. You picked that they would lose the belts.
No, well, I said they were going to lose it because it was a surprise match.
Right. You picked the K. Like, essentially, you picked the K. They were the surprise team. Did you pick Saban? I know I picked Saban to retain. You picked Josh Alexander as well. You were right about ABC. I was wrong as I picked the GYVs. And you picked Trinity and Alex Shelley.
Yes, you actually won, I think, on this one. I'm looking at it in totality. We both picked Crazy Steve. If you give me it looks a little bit closer for me. If you give me the Macklin one, because that's who I picked to win, but I did get the what is it called? The System, the new team name with Moose and Brian Myers and Eddie Edwards.
It's a push. We're both right. It's a push.
You win. You won this round for TNA.
So listen, Moose and Alex Shelley for the heavyweight championship of the world in Total Nonstop Action Wrestling. I just felt that the Motor City Machine Guns would not be able to retain both titles. Not on a night like this. You have to have some kind of cosmic shift when you have this kind of night. Okay, so it was for no other reason than I just felt like, you know what, Saban's probably going to retain. I don't think Shelley retains. It turns out that's the way it played out. But, and let's give Moose some credit. Moose has gotten better in the ring, and I salute him, and he's a legitimate TNA champion. So let's talk about this now, right? So Moose is standing in the ring. Now, I was talking about this with Joel and Quills and Gamble over the weekend and the DMs, McKinney, I believe, as well, and obviously you, Conrad. Needle movers. It's so important to have needle movers when you preview a return or a debut. This was not a needle mover. You know, it's funny, you actually really went exactly where I was going to go. Like, I don't know if you realize that. I was going there. Dana Brooke debuted in TNA. I was talking to Joel, talking to Conrad, and I said, this better not be it. Everybody in the chat, tell me if you agree. When you saw Dana Brooke appear on TNA television, you had to think to yourself, this better not be it. For the love of God, this better not be it. I'm happy for Dana Brooke getting an opportunity. I'm not happy about the fact Deanna I See You are being kind of like a knockoff version of Toni Storm. I'm not feeling that at all. But I'm glad she has a job. I don't want to see anybody out on the street, so it's a cool pickup. But thank God that was not it, because had that been it, it would have been a massive letdown. So we know Dana Brooke is not a needle mover, but here's the debate now. Is the man that debuted in the main event a needle mover? I thought there was a time that he would have been considered as such. But the man formerly known as Dolph Ziggler appeared, attacked Moose, and staked his claim as the newest member of TNA. Conrad, I would like your thoughts.
Good old Ziggles. I don't know what else to say when it comes to Dolph Ziggler making his debut. I'm not feeling the new theme fully. I get why people like it. It's who Ziggler was, the hair and music and all that. But I think for TNA, Dolph Ziggler, Nick Nemeth, if that's what we're calling him now, great pickup. That is a buzzworthy name to go in there with. I know it's not Nick Nemeth of 11 years ago. I know it's not him when he was on top of the world, running around with the World Heavyweight Championship. But he still has value. I still think he's really good. And I think it's time to put the test. If he thinks he's a main eventer somewhere else, this is where you prove it first. I think if he went to AEW, I'll put you in a tag team with your brother right now, because that's what his value is right now.
Is he a needle mover?
I think slightly, maybe enough to get people interested. TNA just wants eyeballs to watch their product so that they can get you back in any way that they can. Because Impact was good. This is what you were getting from Impact, kind of in a way. They just needed you to come back to see it. They needed something else to hook you. Maybe this is it. So I think it's to be determined, if that's me being fair.
That's fair. So how would you rate this pay-per-view? I gave the pay-per-view on a grading scale a B+.
I will agree with that. I think B+. I could even see an A-, but I'll go more towards B+.
Right. I mean, I'm really happy for TNA, honestly. I felt like this was a major, I think we said this on last week's show, they had to make this pay-per-view special, and I think they did. I think the addition of Nick Nemeth with the Dana Brooke kind of as a subplot and the match quality put them in a situation where, you know what, this pay-per-view was not a dud at all.
And I want people to be fair to us, too. As far as Dana Brooke goes, what's her name? Ash by Elegance now. And I saw a lot of people comparing it to Toni Storm. I don't care about none of that. Listen, whatever she's going to do, she's going to do. And I want to see how she is outside of the WWE. Because I thought in NXT at one point she was really, really good the way they were building her up. But then things went sideways for her, and they kind of just looked at her as you could be in the lower card type stuff. You know what I mean? And we'll get into that in the future, I guess, when it comes to it. But as of right now, I'm impressed with what they did. They signed Zaya Brookside. I just put up some of these random things. And Dolph Ziggler ripping off his shirt to expose he had a TNA wrestling shirt underneath. That was the photo they needed to get people talking about them again. I thought overall on this night, TNA did enough to get people interested again. That's me speaking, though.
I would agree with everything you said except for the Ash by Elegance aspect because I do care about the Tony Storm knockoff because it wasn't just a Tony Storm knockoff, it was a complete Tony Storm knockoff. Like even with
we know yet is my thing. Like we don't know.
Put that graphic back up for me, Conrad, please.
Yeah, the 4. Here we go.
She has a butler. She's wearing fur. She's wearing her hair like she's in the 1930s. That is Tony Storm 2.0. And to me, I don't think you're gonna burst onto the scene making any kind of impact, no pun intended, by being Tony Storm 2.0. I don't like carbon copies. If you want to not take somebody and kind of like revive something or take some swag and mix it up and make it your own, that's Tony. Now the only thing that wasn't the case was that the screen wasn't black and white while she was on camera.
Right. And what I'm saying is give Dana Brooke a chance. I don't want people to write her off just right away. Like, let's see what she's gonna do.
Right.
That's all I'm saying with it. And I'm willing to give it a chance. Nick Nemeth, I think he's going to do something in the beginning of this initially. And I think TNA, I know it's going to sound bad that they have to kind of wait and see who people don't want, who can they get. But if they can find a way to grab some of these people and scoop them up, get longer contracts out there. Don't do the whole 3 months, 6 months. Like, hey, yo, you're with us, right? Let's ride out. Like, let's do this. Easier said than done, but I would love for them to get more signings in and be able to do that.
Yeah, let's all agree that we want TNA to do well. TNA, there was a point in time when TNA was really cooking, and I would love to see that happen again. And this is a great first step. I think TNA put on a show that was better than a lot of Impact shows we've seen recently. And a major point of emphasis for me, Conrad, we talked about this off the air and for the chat as well. I love the arena. I love the I guess you could say the ambiance of where they were.
It's because boxing MMA arenas.
Right.
Seats 1,000 to 3,000 people. That's perfect for them. When people are saying like AEW needs to go down, no, AEW believes enough in their business that they'll bounce back eventually. Or there's some markets that are going to really want this. So what if I have to pay more? I'm not paying for less to fill it up and then I'm running out of seats. That was the issue we were talking about with TNA before. So you got to be careful in how you do this and how you want to handle these things. Going just to see what some of the people in the chat are saying here. Nick is a heck of a wrestler, and I highly recommend any match he is in. I think Nick will have great matches and create interest. Who's really going to move the needle on Access TV? Got to be fair. I hear you. It's tough, but that's the issue with having an owner who is a cable provider. They're going to always want you. So how do you get more eyes? But maybe this could lead to more YouTube subscriptions. Maybe people will pay the money to watch this. Actually, GCW just announced Nick Nemeth versus Matt Cardona. So if anyone's interested in seeing them go at it, I can see Nemeth having a Christian-like run. I think he just needs to be booked in a good and give the story behind him. B+ for sure, good kickoff. Okay. See, knock off Tony Storm vibes. For TNA, yes, Nick moves the needle. The social media buzz with the belts. I love the belts, by the way. They might be getting up there for best championships overall for the company. I got to look at AEW's again. There's a lot, though.
They went from worst to first in that category, in my opinion.
Yeah, because them silver ones were not it. But you know what? They were better than those GCW ones. Remember when they had those and they had like Eli Drake as the champ? I was like, these belts are awful. Awful.
Facts.
Give me a side-by-side pick. It's the same. Ooh, give TNA a chance. Listen, man, we're going to get Derek and them on this too eventually, man. I'm glad that they showed up and that they were able to handle their biz and get some things taken care of. Snake Eyes is happening. He is on the card for that. So if you're a TNA fan, no spoilers for those who watch every week. But They are going to have him on the cards for Snake Eyes coming up at that tapings. We are also going to see Okada and the Motor City Machine Guns versus the System now. They have a name. By the way, do you see D'Angelo wrestling? It was weird to see him back, and he was kind of with the System.
Right, he was.
And Will Ospreay, Josh Alexander too. But do you see him getting back into the ring, D'Angelo Williams?
I think so. I think that he's at a stage in his career where he might want to give it another try. He's an athlete. He can do it.
Yeah. Like I said, they're trying the best that they can. I see Pro Wrestler Shoots laughing. I don't know if you're laughing because of that, but listen, what TNA's doing the best with what they're given. It ain't a fair game out here. I can tell you that. If that's what they got to do, that's what they got to do. Zaya Brookside versus Tasha Steele this Thursday on Impact was also announced. Thank you, Matt. Thank you for letting us know that.
So, Conrad, Okada, why don't you take the reins and walk us through? I think we should kind of maybe focus on, because we have some stuff to talk about with the Jinder Mahal situation. So let's talk about the key points of Battle in the Valley brought to us by New Japan Strong, and also a special return, if you want to call it that, of a certain individual.
Yeah, I'm going to jump around because I did miss part of this card because I stayed tuned into Hard to Kill, and then I jumped over to here. Mm-hmm. But during this 6-man tag match, a match that I want people to know, if you have not seen Jacob Fatu, he is that boy. He was in there going crazy. I'm like, how is he not signed to a major company? I hope people are considering it. I don't know what the issues are. I've heard it might be legal issues and things like that, but he was amazing. Fred Rosser, I think he's probably one on my more underrated workers. He does not get enough credit. I always thought Darren Young in WWE was tremendous. Fred Rosser, go watch him. And Shota Umino, this dude is the future of New Japan Pro Wrestling. Listen to me. This dude is really good. Well, during his match, he went outside and a fan in a mask attacked him. Sean?
Oh, boy.
I couldn't believe it. My heart was hurt. And then the fan peeled off the mask, and who was it but none other than Jack Perry.
Oh, my goodness.
He pulled out his AEW contract and ripped it up in front of people. What?
I don't know, man. I don't. It seems kind of.
And he put on an armband that said "Scapegoat."
I'm so sick of this guy. I just, anything he does at this point just annoys the crap out of me. Like, even the whole scapegoat ripping up the contract thing. If it had been somebody else, it would have seemed dope. But it was like, it's so real to me. And believe me, I'm no CM Punk apologist, but it's like, I know that Jack Perry has done some really underhanded things. This meant nothing to me, bro. Like, I'm surprised New Japan would bring somebody like him in.
To me, the Jack Perry stuff with Punk, it was little brother syndrome stuff, where I got into an argument with somebody recently on a YouTube comment section. It was a good chat about it, and I got into it with them, and they said, oh, Tony Khan shouldn't have to answer for a 45-year-old man. CM Punk should have never put his hands on anybody in either situation.
100.
Right? We can all agree on that, right? But do not act like you get to be the little brother of, oh, please take me with you. Oh, I want your ice cream. Oh, well, I can't get you both ice cream, so neither of you are getting it now. You know what I mean? That's what they did. And that's the bullshiggity that they pulled. So when you decided to do that, I don't have as much sympathy for you either. Like, you started it. And in my view, that's what Jack Perry did. They're going to try and maybe flip the narrative on this, make a storyline out of it. Good for them. Okay. We'll see if it works. I'm not buying into this fully, though. I'm just not. And maybe it's just, oh, you don't like the Bucks. You don't like them. We talked about the Bucks on Dynamite. Listen, if Sting picked them, good for them. But at the same token, that's how I feel about your stock. I'm sorry. And that's how I feel about Jack Perry's stock.
It's definitely gone down. Definitely gone down. Yeah. And the sad part is, if he had done this thing right, it might have been better for him, honestly, to keep it 100 with you.
Might be. I don't know what else to say other than good luck, Jack Perry. And we'll see how they pull this off, and maybe they can get him to get some buzz or something. I don't know what they're doing. Maybe this is part of his penance to get back into AEW. I lost respect for him when the Gun said what he really does, which was, he said something about, maybe you guys get booked on the cards too if you were good. You know, they had a little back and forth. All of a sudden, he was like, maybe we stayed out drinking with the boss all night too. And I was like, that's what you do. And you disrespected their father, who's wrestled for years. Not a wise move.
Not at all. Not at all. Jack Perry has a lot of convincing to do, in my opinion.
Yeah, he's got to show up and do his thing. Jack the Instigator Perry is a scapegoat. How Punk got fired. Kenta and Jack gonna joke on Punk. Okay. I don't know what Kenta's been up to these days either lately. So,
Sure, bro.
I thought TJP and David Finlay had an excellent match.
Definitely put on.
Yeah, this was to hype up their other match that was happening on this show. The tag title match I thought was great too, with what I call him ELP, El Phantasmo, and Hikuleo versus Clark Connors and Alex Coughlin. Two future stars. New Japan needs to watch out for Clark Connors and Alex Coughlin. In my opinion, they might get scooped up, but you also need to watch out for Hikuleo and Tama Tonga. Tama Tonga said he's trying to make his way stateside again. So
I mean, he's trying to make that flip over to the American television again.
They're trying, so be on the lookout for them. Matt Riddle, I really don't have a lot to say about this tag match. We kind of knew where this was going, but his tag partner was spoiled because they put up the wrong graphic. It was Jeff Cobb. Big mistake. So expect to see that on your future episodes of Botchamania. But I thought ZSJ looked really good here. My match of the night, Eddie Kingston versus Gabe Kidd. And I don't mean that, or you know what? I shouldn't say match of the night. This is my shocker match, sleeper match, I guess we'll say. Gabe Kidd is.
That sounds good. Yep.
Yeah, Gabe Kidd is really good at his trash talking, and I love that when he faced Eddie Kingston, he brought up the one thing Eddie Kingston told Sammy Guevara not to bring up. Mm-hmm. And he yelled at him when he was about to win by count out on the floor. 18, 19. He was like, hey, Eddie, you fat piece of... And then Eddie rolls out of the ring and they start fighting, Sean. This is an old school angle. Oh, yeah. They start punching each other, like in the face, double count out then. And then they start beefing with each other in the ring. The fight goes all over the place. This is that Dusty Rhodes. Like everybody in the ring is like, oh, they're fighting again. Go, go, go. And they did it so well that they got people into it. And Eddie Kingston, like, he really wanted to rip him apart. And Gabe Kidd would not stop talking. It was a classic, like, high school fight. And I was like, I like this. This is good.
The energy was good, and I thought like the setup, like you just broke down, was good as well. So I mean, it definitely featured both guys in the correct way.
Interesting. We are getting word in that Raw has a new stage tonight. Interesting.
Oh, so that's the reason for all the extra promo. The rumors of extra promo.
Gabe Kidd should be the leader of.
Excuse me.
Gabe Kidd should be the leader of Bullet Club War Dogs. People are saying Gabe Kidd can talk. I'm telling you. We need Gabe Kidd in AEW. You might see him next Forbidden Door. I don't like him, but I like it. He has instant heat because of news. Totally wouldn't work in AEW. Jack the Scapegoat Perry. I can hear the boos.
Please.
Congrats to you, Conrad. Bills all the way. Thank you. Good. Mahal was influenced for tonight's Raw Stage PW Insider. Cut it out.
That's funny.
I don't want to skip over this match too quick, but Julia, Trish Adora, lovely ladies. If you see either of their names on the card, I recommend you go back and check them out. Trish Adora is doing great work at Ring of Honor, and Julia is probably one of the hottest free agents behind Mercedes Moné right now.
Yeah, she's definitely coming.
Shingo and Moxley, thought this was a fun no DQ match. Got Shingo out of his element of just putting on great wrestling matches and put him into the elements of John Moxley here.
I call John Moxley the modern day Mick Foley. He is becoming a master of the no disqualification, no holds barred environment. Big shout out to him. Big shout out to both guys.
You know what? Me and Jesse from Pro Wrestler Shoot were having a conversation about Moxley the other day. We're like, yo, he's actually one of the smartest pro wrestlers if you think about it. Never really has to bump, does these crazy death matches, rather take punishment on your body than take a bump. That's smart. You know what I mean? Like a little thing to your body versus fall.
Longevity.
So
Longevity. He wants to stay healthy. I like it.
how about that Windy City Riot promo though? Moxley calls out Naito after the match saying, "I'd like to face you."
That was a
When
surprise. I did not see that coming.
that show looks like it might be a sellout. Chicago gets everything, bro.
It does. They're starting to
Everything.
become very influential as it relates to like destinations for big events.
By the way, nasty work as well by the people in Chicago who booed Jerry Krause. I just have to add that in. Like, come on, man. That man's family was there, man. He ain't even around anymore. And you booed him like that. And that's why Chicago went on to lose that game that night, too, for the record. But nasty work. I don't know if you had anything you wanted to say about that, but I had to include that in while bringing up Chicago lately.
I understand why fans of Chicago dislike Jerry Krause. However,
Time and a place.
time and place. You have to understand the situation. You have to understand the circumstances, and you have to understand that gentleman is not here any longer, and he was being represented by his widow. And that is going to make her very sad and upset to have her be booed out of the building. Time and place, Chicago. I understand. Anybody who's studied and understands the history of the Chicago Bulls, and especially their breakup in 1998, understands. But time and place, guys.
Very true. Ali, we didn't talk about Ali's promo. Ali cuts a promo saying he wants to face Takahashi, the former IWGP Junior Heavyweight Champion. If you don't know who Takahashi is, this is gonna be good. Is all I can tell you. I love Ali's like little. He's doing like presidential type promos, or like he's a mayor. He walks around. Citizens of pro wrestling, I'm here to tell you, why do you cheer a man who walks around with stuffed animals, who doesn't have everything up here like me, Ali? And I was like, these are pretty good. These are pretty good. Well done.
I'm so impressed because that promo was actually really good. Like he has some chops on him. Like I didn't know he could talk like that. That was really good. Just another example of how WWE kind of maybe dropped the ball on him a little bit. Not saying that Ali's a needle mover either, but he really showed me something on Saturday.
I think Ali. I believe one of my predictions was Ali's going to end up in AEW. I think. I think I predicted him and Ziggler. So we'll see. We'll see by the end of the year if they end up there. But I think they're going out right now to make their moolah.
Money.
Yep, get some of that independent money, and then they're going to move on to try and show, like, this is what I can do for you. You need someone new, don't you? Ta-da! I'm here. In the main event, bro, we can sit up here and talk about this all day. If you've seen them wrestle, you know the deal. Will Ospreay, Sean's best professional wrestler, versus someone else who I think you can argue is also the best professional wrestler, Kazuchika Okada. I saw some people trying to minimize this. If you don't watch New Japan, maybe it's not for you. That's great. But I'm telling you, these two put on, this was like a house show match to them. This was better than stuff all week. Some people said that this is match of the year right now. And this was like stuff in their sleep. They were like, yeah, okay. Drop kick, I got you. Okay, flip, okay. And they went and crushed it. And I know some people thought Will Ospreay was going to win this. Okada gets the win with the Rainmaker. But it was a beautiful thing. And I think Okada's going to end up staying. And Will Ospreay ends up promoting after the match his big steel cage match. New Japan has not had a cage match since 2004. This is crazy. And they are about to have a 5-on-5 steel cage match, United Empire versus Bullet Club. This is marvelous. And Eddie Kingston came back out beefing with Gabe Kidd. Eddie, I owe you one now that we work in the same company. And he gave his singles match goodbyes. I cannot wait to see that cage match. I'm watching.
I'm watching as well. All that I saw on Saturday night in that match was the man that I consider to be a top 10 talent in the world today, and another man who I feel like is the number one talent in the world today. Show it. They showed it. They showed up. They showed out. And, I mean, both guys are just amazing. I think Will Ospreay, I've said it, going on record, the best wrestler alive today. But, man, Okada's not far behind. What a magnificent magnificent performance on Saturday. They both put on. It was nuts. Those guys are. I mean, they're so talented. It's like on a night that we're gonna watch Seth Rollins versus Jinder Mahal for the WWE World Championship.
And we got tweets going out which sound like shots at Tony Khan, according to Renegade. Adam Pearce just tweeted this. Free advice to rookie wrestlers / GMs trying to do business in public over social media demonstrates a lack of business acumen and professional respect. Don't tweet your feet in your mouth towards Tony, maybe? Maybe.
Definitely towards Tony.
Definitely. I hope you tell your interns the same thing at WWE on Fox. You know, the company that's dropping you this year. I hope you do the same thing. I'm just saying, I could throw shots too. What do you care? You're leaving the company in a couple months, but apparently it's all fine and dandy for now. Even though they're pulling in the best ratings that they've ever pulled in since the show started in years, since like UPN days. But yeah, no, go ahead. Get rid of them. Who needs them?
Pathetic.
It's just foolishness with all of this stuff.
It's such a massive double standard. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. And and don't forget the USA people too. You know, they're having fun with a lot of this. But Sean, let's get ready to
get Amazon.
Let's talk about we said we were going to talk about black pro wrestlers today.
Yes.
And I know there's not enough time to talk about every single one of them. I don't know if you want to get just into the present day people or whatnot. Like I said, me and Sean talked in pre-production. Sean's kind of heading this up. So however he wants to talk, but I do want people to be encouraged to look up some names real quick because I don't know if we're going to get to them, Sean. I didn't write all of them down, but Bobo Brazil, definitely a legend you may want to look up. A champion, just everything that he gave to this sport. We wanted to honor him on this Martin Luther King Jr. Day. The big cat, Ernie Ladd.
Oh, yes.
Ernie Ladd played professional football and wrestled. And not only did he do that, did you know that Ernie Ladd also earned a spot backstage? You know how many wrestlers that were black could get a spot backstage during those times? Think about that. And Ernie Ladd's got some of the best funny stories of all time. King Kong Bundy, Bundy, you're being lazy, Bundy. You're stealing people's money out here doing this kind of stuff, Bundy. What are you doing? I could do Ernie Ladd all day, but you gotta love some of those guys from the past. And that's not even to diminish people like Coco Beware. Like I said, we're gonna miss names in this. So if we miss someone that you want to highlight, put it in the comments down below. Tweet at me and Sean. Just let us know. But Sean, I kick it to you, man.
Well, I mean, I definitely want to give some shout outs as well. Coco Beware was on my list. The first ever African-American world champion ever, Ron Simmons, a.k.a. Farouk. Such love and respect for him. He defeated Big Van Vader in 1992, which was an amazing accomplishment. Kofi Kingston, who's still around with us right now, in the New Day. WrestleMania 35 will always be a night that I remember for that wonderful moment in time when he defeated Daniel Bryan in a massive upset to become world champion in WWE. Somebody that I have so much respect for and so much appreciation for, rest in peace, is the one and only Junkyard Dog. He was massively popular in a time where being black and being popular probably wasn't really even a thing. He transcended the industry with his charisma, his athletic ability, and I'm so thankful to have seen him in his latter wrestling days.
Junkyard Dog, I always make him personal, some of these things. You mentioned Junkyard Dog. Definitely in the preschool toy box, this big blue wooden toy box. I remember it. One of my favorite toys that I found in there, something that brought me back to home when I would sit into my Catholic school little preschool class. I loved all my wrestlers. I always had them at home. Like I said, I brought Demolition to show and tell. Them teachers probably thought something was wrong with me. I didn't even know, because I didn't know what that stuff was back in the day. People in leather masks and wearing like gimp suits that they probably got at the adult store like back as a kid. I brought them out. I'm like, yeah, these are my favorite wrestlers. Demolition's my favorite tag team. And now looking back, they were probably mortified, like, what is this?
Oh, awesome.
But Junkyard Dog was in that toy box, and it always made me feel at home when I couldn't be at home as a kid and I'm first learning about school and things like that. So that's my memories of JYD and doing the dance, you know, with the knees and everything, getting in the ring. And Ron Simmons, I get goosebumps to this day. I remember watching with my dad, and my dad, I can just remember him saying, he got him. He got him with the power slam. He thought Vader was kicking out too, just like I did. He got him. And I remember there's a young black kid who, when you first see them, he's over by the guardrail. He starts jumping up and down. I'm getting goosebumps just talking about it. Like I said, I would try to tell you guys like dead serious goosebumps. He's jumping up and down. And I was like, what a moment that Ron Simmons became the world heavyweight champion. That means so much to me. And for people who don't understand, representation is so important in this business. And I know someone asked me a question about R-Truth the other day. You hate R-Truth. No, I don't. I love R-Truth. And I think R-Truth is capable of so much more sometimes than the gimmicks that they are given. But R-Truth has always made the best of what he has been given.
He has.
That's what I wanted to say to that. Because I know some people probably thought I disrespected R-Truth the other day. And no, it's not like that. I just wish that he was portrayed better. Someone brought up Tony Atlas, Mr. USA with Rocky Johnson. First black tag team champions.
Yeah. And I also, speaking of black tag teams, I want to give a big shout out. We talked about Ron Simmons, and rightfully so, the first ever black world champion. But one of the most dominant, outstanding tag teams of all time. And if you don't know them, you look them up right now. Ron Simmons and Butch Reed, the Team of Doom, managed by Theodore Long. Those
and
guys,
Nancy.
Yes, those guys were so good. And they revolutionized the tag team division for some odd reason, probably a Jim Herd idea. They were masked men at first, but eventually Dusty Rhodes got those masks off those guys, and they became household names. Those guys main evented pay-per-views with Ric Flair and Arn Anderson and won. So, I mean, big shout out to those two guys. Guy Will Gamble talking about Bad News Brown. Big shout out to him as well. Bad News Allen when he wrestled in Canada with Bret Hart and his family. I mean, it's just there's so many memories. You know, I'm so appreciative of Conrad sharing that memory he had with his father. You know, my dad isn't really a wrestling fan, but we talk sometimes, and he remembers those days. Guy Will Gamble's reading my mind tonight about Harlem Heat. And there was something just special about seeing somebody that looked like you being successful in the business that not too many people of color in the 90s, us coming up in the 90s, it wasn't really cool to be a wrestling fan. You know, I'm kind of a hybrid. I think Conrad is too. Like, I'm hip hop, I'm R&B, but I'm also wrestling. And most people who are hip hop, R&B, urban, wrestling's not really their thing. Like, you kind of get like they can tell, like, okay, Sean, we seen you at the party. We know you get girls. We know you have fun, but you're a wrestling fan? Like, yes, I am. And Harlem Heat changed the game for me. Harlem Heat was so freaking cool. And I just can't express enough, like, in a time and era where wrestling, you know, wasn't considered to be a black industry. And there's so many people. I give a big shout out to Mabel of Men on a Mission. I know that's a kind of a weird one, but dude was a main event. Dude won King of the Ring, and he was 500 pounds and 568 to be exact. And he moved like a cruiserweight in his Men on a Mission days, and he was really good too. Go ahead, Conrad.
No, I wanted to add in before I forget this. Wrestling was always a built on the industry of the black community. I want people just to understand this and know this when we talk about this. And I hope everyone takes this education, and feel free if you guys ever want to say it, because I stand on this stuff. Wrestling was always about the black people down south in Mississippi. That's who they did the storylines for. They knew what they were doing. Even in Mid-South, they knew what they were doing when they were booking these things. And I don't care who it is. Look at how many rap songs reference people like Ric Flair. Look at how many people reference Hulk Hogan. I know so many wrestling fans who loved Hulk Hogan back in the day. And I'm not here to talk about the other stuff that they've done. I'm just talking about their in-ring accomplishments right now for a second, okay? And yes, Hulk Hogan saved somebody today in the car. I saw that on TMZ. Good on you, Mr. Hogan. I hope he's changed, actually, truthfully. When I saw that today, I was like, good. I'm glad.
I want to talk about that for 5 seconds after you're done.
Yeah. And I'll leave it at that, though. But wrestling was always... I've always known people could talk and pretend like they didn't watch wrestling all they want. You know who I was? I was your friend that got you into wrestling. I know so many people who are like, dude, you know, you got me into pro wrestling. when I was a kid, man. I loved it for so long because of you. Whether it was the video games, the action figures, all that stuff, they got into it because I was like, yo, no, this is the coolest thing, bro. You got to check this out. Stone Cold's the man. Like, you got to watch this. You got to watch that as a kid. And I'm like, yeah, man, this is dope. So wrestling tells a lot of stories and reaches through a lot of parallels to people. I wish that I could watch wrestling with my dad one more time just to talk about it, just to laugh about it. And he thought like Vince McMahon and them, like, oh, the big dude should always win, things like that. I'd be like, phooey, Rey Mysterio sells more masks than all these dudes, man. Put the belt on him. And you wish you could just go back and have those conversations. So enjoy that stuff with people. I enjoy every Monday coming here and talking with you guys about it. I enjoy talking with Sean about this. You know what I mean? Enjoy these times. That's all I wanted to say to that piece.
Well said. You got me ready to choke up. Just getting off this subject for 10 seconds, and we're going to wrap up. And you guys can quote me on this. Give me 60 seconds or less as it relates to Terry Bollea. You guys have gotten a chance to. Conrad knows me on a personal level as a friend, so this is no new news to him. And you guys have gotten to know me through the chat and through my social media. I am a very religious person. When somebody says that they have been saved or that they have come to Christ, I take that extremely seriously. I don't play games when it comes to that. I'm not going to get up on my soapbox. I've been very outward about the fact that I'm a Christian. I don't judge anybody else. That's my belief. It is what it is. I'm not going to talk about Christianity. I'm going to talk about, in this case, just Hogan coming out and saying that he's been saved, delivered, whatever the word is. I don't play when it comes to that. I just hope that this gentleman has learned, has educated himself. And actually, I didn't even think this tied in, but it actually really does tie in with Martin Luther King's birthday. I hope that word, and we all know what word I'm talking about, is no longer in his vocabulary, and that he has a better understanding of what it means to be a real human being. And that at the end of the day, that he, at one point before he closes his eyes for the final time, becomes the real American that he portrayed himself to be on television.
I'm going to throw some... No. Listen, I want him to get better.
Yes.
I'm in the business of forgiveness.
Yes.
He can't say anything else. He can't do it. Only thing he can do is show me in his actions, and I hope that he is doing better. I've met the man before. I've shaken Hulk Hogan's hand, and he was nice to me. But it hurt when I found out that he said those words. So I get it, man. And I'm not a big Hogan fan, as much as I'm not as big of a Hogan fan as you. I will graciously admit that.
You're not as big of a Hogan fan as I was.
Yes. But he still made you feel a certain way, though. You know what I mean? He did his job. So I hope that he's better, and I'm glad that he saved somebody. And I hope the person who's in that car accident is doing better as well. Yes. McKinney brought up Johnny B. Bad. I saw that name before. I'm going to try and get through some of these. Johnny B. Bad. I love Johnny B. Bad. So
Johnny B. Bad is not, I think that's the point. Johnny B. Bad is not black.
I think he is.
Johnny Bad is
Let me argue.
Is Mark Merrow black?
I believe so. I believe Mark Merrow is mixed. But see, this is my argument. Now, I'm going to let you guys in on a secret. I'm mixed as well. But do some people consider... No. Because here, no.
That's not the point.
Let me make my point real quick. Let me make my point about The Rock. Because some people like to diminish the fact that The Rock is black. And they don't give him credit for stuff. And I'm like, no. The Rock is black. Do not do that.
Well, let me clarify my stance. I don't want there to be any misconceptions. I know you're biracial. I consider you to be a black man, but I know you're biracial. I consider The Rock to be a black man. I know he's biracial. I did not know that Johnny B. Bad was biracial. That's my point.
I'm going to look this up. Bad News Brown also came up on our list here.
Yes. We talked about him as well. I did not know if Mark Merrow was biracial. I was not aware of that.
Hold on here. I don't think it is clarified. Wow. Okay. So it says that he was born into a Jewish family, but he is Caucasian, albeit okay. Yeah. I did not know that. Yeah. I did not know that for Mark Merrow.
I mean, I didn't like no shade. Like that's what I didn't think that Mark.
You
Merrill,
not you so you always knew he was?
yeah, Mark Merrill.
I,
Mark Merrill was a Caucasian gentleman. Yeah.
wow, I never knew that. Could have fooled me. It was the mustache then. It was the mustache. He got me. Johnny B. Bad used to.
Shout out to Mark Merrill in general, but not for this subject.
That's all right. I'm part of the Jewish community too in my background. So Mark Merrill, you all right with me, brother? You all right with me? Throw him up. And he's from Buffalo, so that's probably why I gave him benefit of the doubt too.
There you go.
That's all right. You're welcome in this conversation too. We didn't let Ho get in on this. You can come on in too.
Yeah.
Bad News Brown. I love Bad News. Bad News was a bad MFer.
He was good. He was really good, and that match with Piper at WrestleMania 6 made me a little uncomfortable watching it as an adult. But I guess it was what it was. I'm not sure exactly what they were going for.
I still don't know what they were going for, and Piper ended up with that stuff on him forever.
Yes,
because of that.
Yes,
had to scrub his skin raw. Shad Gaspar, yes, I love Shad Gaspar. Great human being. R.I.P. to Shad Gaspar. I actually heard they're doing a tournament or something for him recently. I can't remember what indie, but they were doing it. Monty Brown, yes, also of the Buffalo Bills. While you guys are saying congrats to the Bills, the Pounce will never be the same. My brother used to love Marcus Corvan's theme in the old wrestling games.
He was really talented too. I mean, he needed some polishing, but he was not bad.
Yeah, Mark Henry. I was in the building when Mark Henry beat Randy Orton for the World Heavyweight Championship. And me and the homies, Rob's in the chat, Donnie's in the chat. I see you, Donnie. Don't hide from this. We were all in there, and I remember we all had our arms around each other. And I don't remember if they caught us on camera, but we were up there and we were doing the sway, and we were like, beat him up, break his neck. We were so happy that Randy Orton beat him. And I'll never forget that moment. And Mark was like, don't boo me, don't cheer me. He tried to get the heat, and I was like, nah, Mark, we happy, bro. You can say whatever you want right now. I was like, you deserve that chance. That was the best run he ever had. The Hall of Pain, that was great.
And he definitely deserved it.
E brought up Sweet Sapphire. Yes, Sapphire, also a legend. Dusty Rhodes and Akeem. People forget, those people were meant to bring in the black audience, the black wrestling community.
Yes.
Despite what they did, I don't know. They probably wanted. I'll be a black man, baby. I'll do whatever I got to do for you. And they went out there, but Dusty is beloved by that community. Once again, listen to raps, listen to Outkast, dropping elbows like Dusty Rhodes. Like, just go back in and listen to this stuff. They were wrestling fans growing up as kids.
That's 100. That's 100.
Special Delivery Jones, Norman Smiley. Oh yeah, I'm a big fan of the Big Wiggle. Go ahead.
Yeah, he was good.
Yeah.
He got that gimmick over, bro.
He looks like someone's goofy uncle. That's what I always said about Norman Smiley. I was like, what is he doing, man? Craig Pittman. Yes. Shaniqua, Linda Miles. Miss Jackie. Jacqueline said she was trying to get back in the ring.
I mean, she still can go, I'm sure, but she is a little bit she's a little older. But big shout out to her, man. Like, she was a revolution. She was the woman that really put wrestling back on the map in the 90s when that title was kind of forgotten about. The title, the WWE Women's Championship, was dormant for 3 years after Alundra Blaze went to WCW, and then it was revised with Jackie and Sable. So,
and they were the top two heading up the division. He said, list them Coretta Kings. No problem showing love to the ladies on the list as well. He brought up Outkast and the Bionic Elbow, Pusha T and Ric Flair. Killer Mike has a song about Ric Flair. There's a lot of, like I said, just peep the game, man. They were wrestling fans, a lot of people. Monty Brown, 91 jersey, and I'll pay top dollar. Oh, we didn't even mention him at the TNA pay-per-view. I forgot. AJ Francis was there as well.
I like that. I like the skit he did with
Joe Hendry.
Yeah.
The Cheez-It champion, baby. Yep. Cheez-It champion. Yeah, and I respect everybody. People are coming here saying Hogan is the one who got me into wrestling. I love the wrestling memories, man. that people are bringing up. Bro, I've heard about Johnny B. Bad, man. I'm hurt. Like, my heart hurts right now that I found that out.
You really thought he? Oh no. What? You know, look, and look, you're not my only biracial friend, bro. Like I have a lot of biracial friends, but I knew that Mark Merrill was not biracial.
McKinney hit me with the "I told you." McKinney, that's the best "I told you" ever. You got me good there.
I want to give you a pass. You know why? Because he was modeled after Little Richard, and Little Richard is black.
Yes, and he came out with Teddy Long. Like it made sense. Teddy Long represented the brothers. He was the godfather of pro wrestling.
No, so I'm not mad at you for making that little mistake. I'm not mad at you.
Someone brought up prime time. Elix Skipper, bro. I am friends with Elix Skipper on an app. I won't say what, but Elix Skipper was that boy in the later years of WCW, bringing in a lot of love. Look at the Hall of Pain. Yes. Donnie knows he was there. Kofi Kingston and the New Day. Shout out to Big E and Xavier too for what they've done. Also for being, I think the New Day are one of the most important trios of all time when it comes to being black and being in pro wrestling.
While you get ready with the next breakdown, I'm gonna look up the New Day and I'm gonna list their accomplishments because it needs to be known that New Day should go down as a Hall of Fame faction.
Uh-oh. I just found out I may have said something bad before. Did you know Sweet Sapphire is a controversial word? It is a term for black women that comforted white men. I did not know that.
Oh boy.
How dare they? So now what am I supposed to call Sapphire with Dusty?
Just call her Sapphire.
But I can't do the Dusty voice without him saying that because that's what he always said about her.
Let's move on. The New Day. Let's talk about the New Day's accomplishments and how they have a Hall of Fame resume. So under the New Day umbrella, you have 2 world championships. You have an Intercontinental Championship. You have 4 tag team championships between those guys alone. Not to mention Kofi's individual accomplishments and all that stuff. You have 7 SmackDown titles for the tag team division. So that's 11 tag team championships. They actually were able to become Triple Crown champions when they won the one-time NXT championship. Woods is the king of the ring in 2021. They won a tag team championship tournament in 2018. 13, they have Grand Slam champions. The Grand Slam champion is Kofi Kingston. A Triple Crown champion, Big E and Kofi Kingston. Triple Crown tag team champions, as I mentioned before, Woods and Kingston. They have a match of the year candidate between, a match of the year winner in 2019, which was Kofi versus Daniel Bryan at WrestleMania. And they're 2-time Slammy Award winners. New Day has to be Hall of Fame. That's all I'm trying to say.
Yeah, 100%. And I think you said 1 Intercontinental. I know that Kofi had multiple reigns with that championship too, I think. I feel like I want to say he had multiple. But either way, Hall of Fame, New Day, and I respect the fact that they will not let them break them up because that is the important part of the New Day. Just putting it out there. I just have to make sure that we show love. McKinney, thank you for your education tonight. I did not know that. Crazy things tonight. Ernest the Cat Miller. Yes. I liked Ernest the Cat Miller's dancing. 3-time karate champion.
Somebody call my mama.
Oh man,
that was his music first.
I know. Then I thought about the dinosaur.
Yeah, but that one, don't worry about it. It was Ernest Miller's music first.
As a man who was triracial through my dad's side, BJ said, you would have never guessed it with me at all. So do the flip with Johnny B. Bad. I totally get why you would think it. It's hard to tell. Yo, facts, brother. Facts. The New Day go into the Hall of Fame together. Maybe Kofi goes in solo. No, I think they should go in as a trio. They're like the Freebirds to me.
No, I think McKinney's saying that they should go in as a trio and Kofi get a solo nod. I think, let me tell you something. This is going to sound crazy when you're talking about Triple H, when you're talking about Shawn Michaels, when you're talking about Booker T. Kofi Kingston should be a 2-time Hall of Famer. As a New Day member and as an individual, I'm not going to do it for the sake of time. Kofi Kingston's resume is crazy.
Super crazy.
Yeah.
No pun intended for him either.
Yeah.
Not super crazy wherever he is. Yeah. But yeah, it's absolutely amazing all of the stuff that happened. And I still haven't mentioned Jay Cargill, Mercedes Moné. I'm just looking at some of the people who are on here for TNA. And then once again, the people you'd be surprised by: Ricky Starks, Jay Lethal.
Yeah.
I'm just looking through Keith Lee. We haven't mentioned Powerhouse Hobbs, my dog. Athena is crushing it in Ring of Honor. First woman to main event ROH shows, pay-per-views.
Shout out to Willow Nightingale.
Yeah, shout out to the one of my favorite referees, Stefan Smith. Absolutely love the dude. Totally great ref. He's made some good calls on the moment. Did you just say Willow Nightingale?
Mm-hmm.
AR Fox. We could go through it. Swerve Strickland. Future AEW World Champ predicted by us.
He better be.
By the end of this year, I think we're going to see Akira Hogan, Top Flight, the Acclaimed. I just thought about the nickname they had all gave themselves, the House of Half Black backstage. Cut it out. Cut that foolishness out, being funny. Captain Sean Dean, he books all of the wrestlers on the independents. Show him some love. Stokely Hathaway, as much of a pain that he is. And Lee Johnson, shout out to you as well. Stokely Hathaway, funniest man. Funniest man in pro wrestling, bro. Bringing his Martin references and stuff in there. Who took my CD player? Who took it? You gotta love it, man. It's pro wrestling. If you're black, don't be ashamed. If you don't know something, I got schooled twice on here tonight. It don't matter.
Right.
Talk pro wrestling. Come in here. Get yourself an education. That's what I'm talking about. Really good. Special shout out to the Black LGBTQ plus community. They have it double hard to show improve. Yes, Sunny Kiss and Kira Hogan, many others out there who are part of that community. Much love to them as well.
Yes, sir. Just a wonderful opportunity to say thank you once again to Dr. King. This is what it's all about, honoring the past, present, and future of our communities, but also bringing all communities together as one to enjoy Clash of the Podcast every Monday night. That's what it's all about.
For sure. I guess you want to wrap this up?
Yeah, man. Let's wrap it up, man.
Let me just promote two things. Dynamite review this Wednesday. Make sure you come in. If you got ideas for how AEW can be better, come in. Let me, BJ, and Derek know. We're going to be discussing that. Also, Thursday, it's going to probably be at 6 or 6:30. Watch for the time drop that's going to happen. Me and Rob are going to be doing the EPW Awards. Please make sure that you guys get those in. I'm putting the link in one more time in the chat. Get your awards in. I had a goal for where I wanted to get. I'm about like 10 away. So if you guys can share the link, give it to somebody. Once we get that filled in, we're going to be able to do these awards. It's going to be fun. That's just a fun one just to discuss, talk pro wrestling for the year of 2023. This Thursday, make sure you are here on the Everything Pro Wrestling channel. We will rock with that. Don't forget to show love to Sean Hubbard. Sean is going to be doing a special event January 25th on his channel, 8:05 Eastern Standard Time. We are going to have a great crew assembled to talk the Royal Rumble. We promoted it before, but I want you to go to Sean's channel as soon as this ends, subscribe, and then hit that bell so that way you guys get notified every time he goes live, because Sean goes live randomly sometimes. He's got to let you know after Raw, like, yo, this is atrocious what I just saw, or I love this. Let's talk about it. So I'm doing the promoting tonight, brother. I'm doing the promoting tonight. So make sure you guys are subscribed to Sean. I don't know if you got anything else coming up, but feel free to promote and take us out, Sean.
No, nothing else, man. I'll see you guys. I'll definitely be seeing Conrad and Derek on Wednesday night on the EPW channel for their always exciting AEW review. I'll be definitely tuned in on Thursday for the EPW Awards, and I'll see you guys next Thursday on the Hubbard Wrestling Weekly channel for my show. As we're going to do a special edition of Clash of the Podcast, Royal Rumble edition, with Conrad, of course, my tag team partner, as well as Jesse from the Pro Wrestling Shoot, and Crystal. And that's pretty much it, man. We're really excited. And as always, we'll see you right here next week, 6:05 Eastern Standard Time for Clash of the Podcast. So on behalf of my good friend, my brother from another mother, Conrad Cushman, representing Everything Pro Wrestling, my name is Sean Hubbard, representing Hubbard Wrestling Weekly. Be encouraged, man. Be encouraged. We're living in tough times, but things are getting better, God willing. Let's just continue hoping and praying for the best. You can't change the world unless you change yourself. So let's focus on ourselves, keep doing the best we can to be the best human beings we can be. I'm going to remix it a little bit and say, and at the end of the day, evil and racism never prevails. God bless. Happy birthday, Dr. King. We'll never forget.